Hey everybody, it's Book of Katherine, and we have a lot to celebrate. I don't know if you can notice or not, but I'm standing up. Not only am I wearing my favorite jacket of all time, which I wanted to introduce to you in my Christmas video, but I didn't know we were going to have such a big thing to celebrate because I'm going to dance for you today, but not with my hands. Not with my hands. I'm going to dance for you with my feet. And not only that, PewDiePie fans, but I'm going to dance for you with my feet to lasagna. Lasagna. Yes, I am. I'm going to do it to the clean version. I'm going to do it to the clean version. But I'm going to do it to that song because it was in my head as I was going into the procedure. And I think there was a reason for that. Because the procedure went differently than all the other procedures have gone. And because of that, I am able to stand differently than I've ever stood. I don't know if you guys are able to notice, but I'm able to stand a lot taller than I normally stand. Even in the pictures that I showed you on my Instagram page, when I was standing upright, I was only able to stand kind of like this. Like I was upright without a cane and everything, but I was just like this. And I was kind of upset because I was like, I can't raise my arm all the way. Well, now I can do it. Like I can actually put my arm straight up. That's it. Oh, look at that. Oh, I just love this jacket. Anyway, and I'm also, to celebrate today, I'm going to tell you what was different about the procedure. And you can skip ahead if you want to see the dancing. Now, don't expect anything from the dancing feet. I am really freaking atrophied. Like I'm atrophied big time. Like, I mean, I've just started, like, remember I'm teaching the private lessons, but private lessons, I get to sit in a chair and go, you want to be on Dance with the Stars? Then, I mean, I get to critique the heck out, and I'm like, I mean, I'm really good at, like, break it down, but I don't have to get up there and do a ballroom dance performance that's as good as, Dancing with the Stars anymore. I don't have to do any of that. So like my feet, like, let's not expect like the world or anything. But the fact of the matter is that a year ago, and I have the video to prove it. I'm so glad now. I was so embarrassed and I never posted the video. But a year ago, I actually took a video. I remember being like, no one ever films this. No one ever films this and the world needs to see it. I actually took a video of like my normal life. I actually took a video because you guys always saw my good days. I actually took a video of a normal day. Like, I can't feel my legs. Like, I could, like, I was, like, from here on down, and so I'm really, really glad I did that video to, like, remember, because I didn't know where I was going from there, to remember, like, where I came from. Like, it was pretty much being paralyzed, just paralyzed in bed. Couldn't move my legs. My husband would have to, like, move my legs for me. I mean, just complete paralyzation, whatever that word is, and stuff like that. And then here I am, upright, standing movie, and I am about to move my feet for you. I am about to move my feet and dance for you. So don't expect much, but we're going to do that today. We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate break time. I'm going to tell you how we did it. So, and in celebration, I am also going to wear my favorite hair clip that I found in a vintage store back in California. I think I found it at the Mermaid's Chest in Santa Barbara, next to the pier. Oh, I love the Mermaid's Chest or whatever. So I am going to put that in my hair now because I knew you wouldn't be able to see it, but I was just like, and I've never worn it before, so I'm wearing it right now. I think I haven't worn it. I might have worn it for one video, but I am wearing it today. My favorite, because my hair is all poof because I went out with Lila. I was going to film, and then Lila wanted to go chasing leaves. Because it's so cold out, she like runs out and she goes, chase, 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 chase all the leaves, then runs inside. And then goes out and then chase, 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 and then runs inside. So it's hysterical. But then the moment I start to film, she's like, shit, freeze. And I'm like, oh, this you don't want to perform. Like, that's the one, apparently not on that. So she's very particular about her filming. So anyway, I'm very excited. So let's show you how I'm actually going to be able to dance for you and I have to do the dancing at the end because if I dance for you, I will not be able to film. Let's be honest, like, I will not be able to film. So let's show you why this day is different and what they did differently. And by the way, because this procedure was different, they did it differently. And let me tell you what was different about the procedure. And also something else was different about the procedure is that I had a follower in the room. And not only did I have a follower in the room of the procedure with me with like my pants hanging down, like, so that literally like, my pants were hanging around my waist with a follower in the room. Not only that, but the thing didn't go right, like because it's a learning school or whatever. So the person like needed to move over. Like my doctor was just like, all right, you move aside because it wasn't going well. Like my body, of course, was not cooperating. It never cooperates. I just sat there and I was like, it's a great learning day. It's a great learning day. And my doctor was like, we're living on the edge. She was actually wringing her hands. Like she was like walking away. And I was just like, it's a great learning day. Do whatever you need to do. Do whatever. I was like gripping the sides and I was just like, do whatever you need to do. And thank goodness I said that. But then my followers stepped in And they were so boss. They were so boss because she's like, hand it over to this guy. And my follower stepped in and he was so great to me. He was so, I can't even begin to tell you, like, I'm so grateful for him because he came in, he was so great. He did this like double take when I walked in to the room because he was like, da, 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 da. Like, it was so fantastic. It was so fantastic because I was just like, hi. And then when I was in the room, I was like, oh, wait, right. It was just like, oh, right, I'm on YouTube. Like, I totally forget because I'm not used to that yet. The celebrities in my family, like, they're like, you need to get used to it. And I'm not used to that. It wasn't until I was on the waiting room. And then he was so great because he came in and he put his hand on my chest and he just, like, whispered in my ear. And I was just like, and I like really calmed down. Like, it was really, really great. And then she handed off the procedure to him. And he was so great because I was like, do whatever you need to do. And so he was like, boss. He was just like, I'm going to do it. And he was like, do the procedure. It was so fantastic. And what happened is they actually had to go, and I'm going to show you what they did that was different. And I literally on the table, I was like, it was like having to, like, my legs, it felt like, you know how you're inflating when you inflate like an air mattress and you see the air mattress like fill up, like it inflates? I actually felt like my legs were these two flat legs and I felt that they were like, and I actually felt like, oh, you know what? That's what they meant, like the vascular. Because the nurse said later, she's like, that's your vascular, like your vascular system at work again. She's like, your vascular system is working again. And what happened is I was like, oh my God, I didn't understand that until afterwards. She said, I was like, oh my God, it's like a blow up doll. I said, my legs are blowing up. I was like, oh my God. And like on the table, I was laying there and I felt like they were pumping up my legs like a blow up doll. Like it was just like, shh, and I had my legs back on the table, but I'm a dancer. Like I'm a pro dancer. I'm very, very sensitive. And I was known for my follow. Like I was very sensitive. A guy could lead me and he could like actually just like do a hair touch and I would just be like, dink. Like he could lead me in like motions of like exact, very, very exacting control. So I can feel everything. Do you know what I mean? I'm very, very unique because they were surprised. They're like, you can feel that? And I was like, oh yeah, like I can definitely feel it. So, and so when they put me in the side procedure, and I'll tell you what they did differently in a second, but when they put me in the side room to go ahead and rest or whatever, I noticed the difference because when I went into the room, now this was different, after two of these Ganglion Impar blocks, the second time I walked in the room, each time I had been walking lower and they needed to help me in. This second time, they just walked in. They didn't try to help me in. And I was like, oh crap. But I had my cane. That's right. That's another big thing. I walked in without a walker. Everybody, I walked into my hospital without a walker. I walked into my hospital without a walker. Do you know how big that is? Do you have any idea how that is? A year ago, I'm sitting there paralyzed in my bed, and my husband had to wheel me in on the walker all the time or wheel me in on a wheelchair. And then we get in there, and sometimes I'd really try to do the walker because I knew motion was important or whatever. I just really hated being assisted. I really only relied on that. It's just the fighter in me or whatever. And maybe it's the dancer in me. I just really hated being wheeled in. And so I just really would try and do the walker, but that wasn't my normal life. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was always like dragging in, and even the last procedure, I was dragging in on the walker. I barely made it into the procedure. And after the procedure, I was like, ding, I'm up. Well, this time, and she'd been saying for a year, I remember exactly a year ago, because I just started my channel and I told her about my channel. And I was like, you know what? Exactly a year ago, I remember when I started my channel, I said, because I want everyone to know about this. And she looked at me and she's like, well, I have gotten people out of wheelchairs before, and I'm going to get you walking. And I remember looking up at her and being like, I'm in 100%. I'm there. I'm going to fight. Because they always think you're not going to fight. But in my head, I was like, I don't think you know how bad I am. Like, I really don't think you, like, do you know how bad I am? Like, do you have any idea how bad the pain is? Like, do you any idea how bad it is? And I think both of us have learned how bad it was. Like, even I didn't know how bad it was. Like, we've had to learn. For example, let me give you a good example. A tennis ball. We found out my hands were so weak. Like, a symptom was my hands were so weak. that I was slipping out. I was losing. Remember how I said I don't know if I posted the video, but I couldn't grip like even a hanger. Like I'd hold a hanger and it would slip out of my hands and it would come and go. Like my hands would just lose the hangers. Like I'd be sitting there walking with the hanger and it would just slip out of my hands. I was like losing this like muscle and it would come in and out. And then they give me an injection I could grip again. And we didn't know that like when we were giving, but it took like all that, it took us 6 months after that talk she and I had, or 8 months to have that injection in the Ganglion Impar Block. And so it was a long process. There was a lot of procedures. There was the SI joint, which was really big, and then the ablation in the SI joint. And then because from that talk that we had a little more than a year ago, we had all the SI joint injections on both sides. Then we had the SI ablations. And then 6 months after that, then we started doing the Ganglion Impar Blocks. And this is the third one of those. So it's been a long freaking haul. And then 6 months ago, that's when we started the PT. And during all that time, I've been losing weight and all of that together. So do you see how it's like a team effort? All of that together has been come together and done this and done this. But it's because I've been on board and because I sit on that table and I'm like, go for it and do whatever you got to do. You know, it's worked. So let's talk about what they did differently on the table because it's big. Oh, actually, I was going to turn to the page, but I'm like, actually, I can show you right on the front. So I love this human body thing. I actually like bigger books. I'm a dancer, so I love human anatomy books. I should have known that, like when I was in high school. I took all the anatomy and physiology courses, like when I was a freshman and stuff like that. And they were like, why are you taking this? This is college level stuff. And I was just like, why? I love it. I should have known. I was going to be like some kind of dancer or something like that. So, I mean, I was in dance and everything, but I didn't know that I would like, you know, end up being, you know, pro champion or anything like that. So, but I should have known it then. So here's what the difference is that the Ganglion Impar Block, what it does is, and this is very important, is what they do is they inject down here, right? They do an injection and it floods upward. That's very important, is that they inject here and it floods upward. And what they do is they always inject, I think they always inject right at this level. Well, what happens is that it never flows down. And I don't know if they know that or not. It never flows down. It only goes up. I felt it. I'll never forget the first one they did. They injected the first one and I remember going, whoop, because there's this pain relief straight up the middle. I remember I actually, my eyes popped open. I was like, hello. And I was like, wow. And she's like, maybe not so much. And I was like, no, it feels good. You know, like, and it's so funny because she asked for 40 this time. I was like, we did 80 last time. Let's do 80 again. Like, she's like, you want 80? I was like, yeah, I want 80. Like, I fought for it. And I think my follower was just like, she's so boss. I don't know if he thought that or not, but I need to find his Twitter account so I can find out. I'm just like, he's so boss. So anyway, so, whatchamacallit? So he went in here. And so what happened is that it didn't work out here. Like while they're here, and this is important for you patients while you're doing these procedures, while they were going in here, all of a sudden, I felt like they were off to the side, like when they're, and it's a very, very, very precise, they say it's a simple procedure, which it is, but they have to go very, very slowly, and they take an x-ray, like they take an MRI or MRI, some kind of x-ray, and they go very, very slowly, because obviously it's a super small joint, and if they go any further, they puncture like the rest of you, and they don't want to do that. You just want to go to the spinal cord, just to the other side of this bone structure. And if this is freaking you guys out, seriously, just stick with it. It is worth it. So, because this is really important, and a lot of people are walking around out there in pain, and this can save a lot of people from pain, because it gives you your legs back. This is what controls your legs. People think this is what controls your legs. It's not. This is what controls your legs. And so what happened is that they were going into here, and what happened is that this wasn't working. They were going in, I felt them off on this side, and then all of a sudden it was painful. Like I felt a poke and I was like, "Ho!" And I said something, because normally they numb the area first, and they're always like, this is going to burn. But I got to tell you, and those of you guys who suffer with chronic pain, I'm just like, so, like at this point in the game, I remember when I used to get scared of shots, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared of shots. I'm like, just give it already. Like, that's nothing. That's light, itty bitty, you know, surfacey pain. That's nothing. That's seriously nothing. I'm like, oh, please. Like, I mean, seriously. So, I mean, you're just like, it's like someone blowing on you. You're like, your body still yanks, but you're like, whatever. Because you know it'll pass. Who cares? It doesn't, you know, it doesn't go deeper. It doesn't last forever. It doesn't drive you crazy. So, but what happens is that then they numb it, and then you're not supposed to feel anything after that. You just kind of know that they're there, and that's it. Well, then it hurt. And so I knew to say something. Like I was like, and I just said, it had never hurt before. And I said, it's hurting. Is it supposed to do that? I said, I can handle the pain, but is it supposed to hurt? And they were like, it's hurting. And they said, okay, so maybe something's going wrong. And so they pulled out. And they went, here's the big thing, is they went one lower. And they went down here. And that changed the whole freaking game. And even then they were like off or whatever. And that's when she handed it off to my guy. Yay, my guy, my guy, my guy. And he just, and it was so funny because he went in there because it still hurt and they just didn't numb it right or whatever. It still hurt or whatever. Or maybe my body was just being crazy. But it was like on this side. And I said, ignore me, like ignore my body, ignore whatever. And he did. And he just went, and I was like, thank you. Because my legs just flowed up. Like, I was just like, I can handle the pain. Do what you got to do. Like, I don't care. Like, you don't need to do whatever. Like, those of us in chronic pain know. And thank God, because I'm about to dance for you today. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, it wasn't that bad of pain. It was just like, you normally expect there to be no pain. It felt just like as if when they numb it. It was no deeper than that or anything like that. So, but it was just like, there's pain. Normally, a lot of doctors today, a lot of young doctors or doctors in training, if they hear you say ow at all, that freaks them out. I mean, they're doctors, but they just freak. They're like, ah, and they just yank back. And you're like, wait, what are you doing? Like, you know, the doctors of old, you know, like my doctor and stuff like that, they just stop and they say, okay, assess the situation. They're very technical about it. You know, it doesn't scare them. But the younger doctors, it really freaks them out if you say you're in pain. And I'm like, but you're a doctor. Like, that's doctor. This is what happens when you poke inside the body. There will be pain. So it's kind of a weird phenomenon. But my guy just went. He just went for it. And I felt him like as I was going, oh, he just went straight, and it was so great because my legs just flowed. And here's what happened is that on the way home, I noticed a really big difference. Like when I went to the table, just because they went a thing down that they hadn't done before, and because they went down here, I was like, and I said to my husband, I was like, I'm having pain relief in an area I haven't had it before. I was like, I never had pain relief down there. And not only that, but that led to pain relief. Because there was pain relief down there, I had pain relief like in all these areas inside my pelvic region. There's a bunch of pain relief in there. So like on the drive home, like when I was in the car bed, I was like, do I kind of need, like I was laying there and I was used to still having pain in my hip. But because the pelvic region was no longer gripping, it was the top pelvic region used to be more relaxed, but the bottom pelvic region was still like, and because it was still from the pain, it was pulling in the muscles from the outside hips. So the outer hips were still yanking. And so it would still feel like I had glass in my hips. And I was on the way home and I was like, it doesn't feel like I have glass in my hips. Why is that? Like I thought I still had problems. Remember I said now we have to get the hips figured out? No, like my hips don't feel like they have glass in them anymore. And it's all because they went one down. Like that's a freaking big discovery. So, and now like, hi Lila, that would be Lila. Thank you very much. Hi Peaches. She's very happy from chasing things and I'm getting warm, so I better stop. So, cause I still need to build up the muscles and everything like that. So I need to take it easy. But I'm kind of frustrated because I'm like, I have a job that requires me to sit and I was like, I want to stand, but I still have a job that requires me to sit. So I'm like, I want to get up. But that does mean that I think for you guys, I think there's actually like hope out there that I think I can plan to start actually seeing you guys. I'm going to start planning to maybe put together a project to actually like not write on Twitter, but perhaps put together a book instead. I think with this, if we keep doing the injection down lower, like do the ablation, they're going to do an ablation next and do it lower like this. Cause I felt like driving again today. And I was like, oh, that's how I felt the first time. I'm wondering if they did. Cause I remember them saying something about doing it lower the first time. This last injection, I didn't drive at all. And I was so frustrated. I didn't understand why. And I think it's because they went lower last time, but this time they went lower with double the amount. And it just changed everything. Everything. They changed the whole 9 yards. And when I sat there, like when you have toes and you're in the ice, like when you're in the snow and your feet are soaked through and you know how the shoes get soaked through and your socks get soaked through. And then you come in out of the cold and you rip off your shoes and you rip off your socks and your feet turn red and they're like, oh, and your toes start to warm. the whole time they had me in the side room after. Remember how I said my toes were really cold? I actually got toe warmers, those hot hand toe warmers. I got a pack of like 36 of those. Thank you so much for your donations, because I could not do that without you. So I got those hot hands toe warmers, and I got a pack of 36, and I've been shoving those in my toes, and I've been putting those in my toes and warming my toes, because I've learned I've gotten so bad, I've deteriorated so bad that no longer do the fuzzy socks works. No longer do wool socks works, and no longer do double wool socks works. Now I have to actually put hot hands toe warmers in there. And now I don't even kind of feel those. Now they just kind of make it like feel, and I was just like, what the heck? And I sat there on the side and it warmed up. So as I'm doing all these procedures, I can tell whatever's wrong with me is getting, I can tell whatever is, sorry, someone called in, is I'm getting a lot of voting calls. Are you guys getting a lot of voting calls? A lot of polls. And I'm just like, if I don't know you at this point in the game, I'm always like reject, because it's almost always a poll. And I don't want to take polling calls. I don't know. I'm telling the world how I plan on voting. I'm like, I don't need to tell a poll. Plus, anyway, that's a whole politics. Not in this video. Not. Look at that. Did you see what I could do? Not. Well, shoot, move my upper spine. That I still can't do. So anyway, I'm very, very excited about what I'm able to do, and I'm going to be able to do more PT, I think, with this. And anyway, so I'm going to try dancing for you with my feet. I know I can do that. I know I still can't move my upper spine and things like that. But whatever is making me deteriorate, that's still like moving. And I don't know if that's a spine injury or if that's something else, if there's some other thing on top of it. Whatever that is, it's still moving. You know, it's still moving at this pace, but I have another doctor who I think is onto it and figuring it out. So while we get these things that like solve it, like we get the things that fix the symptoms and get me going and get me moving, which is great. Like the other thing keeps moving and keeps, and so we were at this battle of like getting me up while the other thing, you know, as I lose feeling, get cold and get more cold and colder and stuff like that. But that's okay, because all that matters is that I'm up and moving and functioning. You know what I mean? So what if my toes are cold? You know what I mean? So if they get colder and colder, but this just blew up, like just blew it up. So like now my toes aren't nearly as cold. Wait till you see what I can do. I'm really, really excited. Like yesterday, they were something with the, okay, I'm getting into too much detail. Okay, let's go ahead and do the dancing. I'm very, very excited. I hope I didn't miss anything. Thank you to, actually, I ended up going on the way home. I'm doing this very important thing. I talked to one of my friends in Hollywood. He's really successful. And I was like, I'm trying to get out more, but I don't want to shop, and I want to be really, and he was like, do what she said in your video, which was like, only ever do it when you do something for yourself. And I was like, right, I said that in my video. I had just gotten so excited that I was out shopping, which was successful. Like that was a big deal. I had not been shopping in so long. It was so great to like get out there and actually get a wardrobe that fits me. Like you'll start seeing tops recycled again, because now I'm down to a weight that's like I can start wearing things again. It's so nice instead of keep losing weight. But what's going to happen is I'm going to only, when I do something big like this procedure, go get something. So like I got a leather jacket for $7. And then I saw a few people. Like every time I go out, like, you know, I see a few people, but then I only save it to like when I do something. So like if I go out to try like do the, well, I don't want to do dance lessons because I do those so often. But like we have a dance lesson like at least, well, I think we have at least 2 a month now. Like, I think we're doing them weekly now, which is such a big deal. And I don't want to be buying once a week or anything like that. So but you have to do something to be like, celebrate when you go out, but not, I don't know. It's a hard thing. Buying is a hard thing. Anyway, let's go on to the dancing. And my husband's home. Dang it. I will dance. I promise. Mwah. I love you guys. Here we go. All right, I'm shorter. I've got my dancing shoes on and I've changed because I'm not ruining that jacket for dancing. I'm going to have to hold on to my handicap rail here because I don't want to die. So when I did my PT, when I did my arms, because my arms were so atrophied, just recently in PT, they gave me a tennis ball and I squeezed it. I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, grab a tennis ball and just start squeezing that. And I was like, okay. And I squeezed it and my arm, I was like, ah! And my arm was sore for 3 days. So, like, that's where I'm climbing out of. So, do not expect champion dancer feet here. Like, I'm just excited that my feet are moving. And if you start hearing, It's lasagna at ballroom dance conventions, played for cha-cha, because that's what it is. Like, I listened to it, and it's the cha-cha. I was like, okay, this is cha-cha, so I'll be doing cha-cha, which probably my knee doctor is going to kill me for doing, but that's okay. So I'm a dancer, so it's good. They told me to move my knee. So if you start hearing at dance conventions, yeah, it started here. It started right here. You know where it started, but always play the clean version at ballroom conventions. Hello, it's a family sport. Ballroom is a family sport. Little kids dance at those things. You have to play a kid because then they have to go to school and they get thrown in detention for saying those words. So no one ever thinks about that. They're like, this is who I am. And I'm like, but they're thrown in detention for it. Like, they can say whatever they want once they're 18, but they get thrown in detention. Like, you're just setting them up. So don't do that for them. It's a family sport. But other than that, go for it, play whatever you want. But so that's why I'm doing a clean version here. Also, I guess YouTube will do whatever. But please, PewDiePie, don't copyright strike me. I didn't think about that. I'm doing this as a thank you because, like, I remember I was getting out of the car, like, the whole drive down, and then I was getting out of the car. For some reason, this song was in my head. I was like, lasagna, and I was just, like, going in like a fighter to this procedure, and I must have known what was coming. I was like, I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance with my feet. Yeah, I'm going to dance with my feet. Beat to your serious. Beat to your serious. I don't know what the heck I was thinking, like, So whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I even used the wall eraser on my wall. So we're going to try this, and we're going to see what the heck happens. So don't judge, just be happy. Mwah. I love you guys. Be back in a second with whatever the heck's going to happen down there. We'll find out. Let's do it. All right, you guys. I have to hold the bars, so I'll be turning around. All right. I'm scared. All right, here we go. Let's try it, baby.
I don't like your T-Series.
I don't like you either, T-Series.
Nothing personal, kid.
Nothing personal.
But I must go all out.
But I'm gonna go all out.
Just this once.
Yeah.
Bob's or Vagana, whichever will it be. Set the down, T-Series. I'm here to spill the real tea. You trying to be the spot on number one, but you in the air you lose. So best thing you haven't won. When I'm through with you, we're gonna be completely cause we only just begun. I review you 0 by the gun. So come on, T-Series. Looking hungry for some drama.
I don't know, I keep trying for.
Let me serve you lasagna. 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 T-Series ain't nothing but lasagna. 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 Look at these series, they just crying for their mama. Lasagna. Lasagna. T-Series ain't nothing but
I think I'm doing it though.
lasagna. Lasagna. Lasagna.
I can't move my feet.
Who the hell is Bob and why you wanna kiss him? I'm a blue-eyed white dragon while you're just dark magician. You got the fifth of the population in your nation, but I got 9-year-olds the world's a whole.
There you go, PewDiePie. Thank you for getting me out there. Thank you for getting me into the hospital. Thank you for getting me to move my feet. Whether I was on time, off time, I moved my feet for the first time. Not paralyzed.